Welcome, everyone. I'm Ellen Welch. I'm chair of the Department of Romance Studies, and on behalf of my colleagues, I'm very delighted to welcome you to our departmental commencement ceremony and to be the first to congratulate the class of 2023. Congratulations. So we're here today to recognize and to celebrate the accomplishments of these students who have completed their degrees in French and Francophone studies, Italian studies, Hispanic linguistics, Hispanic literatures and cultures, and Portuguese studies. We have a group of polyglots with us today who have done incredible work over the past several years to get to this point. Also, people's parents and families and loved ones have done incredible work to get their graduates to this point, and the faculty have also done really incredible work to get everyone here. So thank you to everyone in the audience for celebrating everyone's accomplishments today. So we have a little program for you today. We'll be, of course, recognizing each one of our graduates who have earned PhD degrees, master's degrees, and bachelor's of arts degrees. But before that, we have some awards to give out, and we've invited some of these undergraduate award winners to say a few words about their experience in college at UNC and in the department, which is always my favorite part of this ceremony. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Professor Richard Bernin, who is the advisor of the Portuguese Studies program, who will present our first student speaker. Thank you.
Good afternoon. The Chancellor's Camões Prize for Excellence in Portuguese goes to Melissa Pereira Patrocinio, and as the recipient of the award, she has been invited to speak.
Hi, everyone. Congratulations. I'm so honored and excited to be addressing you all. It is an incredible privilege to be graduating alongside each one of you. I think we should be really proud of ourselves. Being a part of the Romance Studies department as a Portuguese major has been the most personally and academically enriching part of my Carolina experience. I originally decided to major in Portuguese to advance my speaking and writing skills as a heritage speaker of the language but ended up finding a passion for Portuguese and Lusophone cultures that far transcended these initial goals, which I channeled into an honors thesis, a foreign language fellowship, a part-time tutoring job, and enthusiastic phone calls to relatives in Brazil. Studying Portuguese challenged me to be a better student and allowed me to carry on a cultural tradition that has been so incredibly meaningful to me. As students of foreign language, through understanding the intricacies, subtleties, and cultural context of language, we have learned to partake in experiences and understand humanity in a new perspective. To me, these abilities have also led me to deepen my own sense of identity. I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity. I especially would like to thank my professors, Dr. Chloe Hill, Dr. Richard Vernon, as you just saw, Dr. Pedro Lopes de Almeida, Dr. Christine Taylor, Dr. Paulo Ferreira, and Professor Parker Brookie for helping me to cultivate a constant curiosity and love for the Portuguese language. I also want to thank my family and friends for cheering me on and being an unfailing source of support. This program is a truly special part of UNC, and I am so excited to see where it takes us. I want to finish off by saying congratulations to you all again, or parabéns in Portuguese. I did it, mamãe. Thank you.
Next, I'll introduce my colleague, Professor Dorothea Heisch, who is going to present this year's recipient of the Jacques Ardrey Award for French Studies.
This year's Jacques Ardrey Prize for Excellence in French goes to Margaret Foster.
Hello, everyone. Bonjour. My name is Margaret. I'm so honored and thrilled to be speaking to all of you today, and I cannot believe how quickly our 4 years at Carolina have flown by. It seems like just yesterday, my parents drove me all the way from North Alabama, leaving me fearful but excited about the coming years in this town, which would soon come to feel like home. As graduates of the Romance Studies Department, we had the absolute privilege to be transported to foreign nations during a time when travel and cultural exploration was so limited. I recall reading Francophone texts while sheltered in my apartment, so enthused for the day when we could return to the enrichment we all find in studying foreign languages and cultures firsthand. And that we did. I am so thankful for the opportunity UNC gave me to study abroad for a semester last spring at Sciences Po Paris, cementing my love for the Francophone culture. I loved it so much that I will be returning and have accepted a position through TAPIF, Teaching Assistant Program in France in l'Académie de Créteil in the greater Paris metropolitan region. Like many others in this room, my romance studies degree has further contributed to my development and understanding in a broad spectrum of other areas of study. From the multicultural perspectives provided in many of my classes focused on the post-colonial Francophone world, especially those taught by Professor Matheru, to film classes exploring the intricacies of French cinema in Godard with Professor Malahi. This major has broadened my horizons in ways which I will be forever grateful for. Congratulations to everyone in the class of 2023, and thank you to all of my wonderful professors and colleagues in this department. It has been an absolute pleasure learning, working, and speaking French with all of you, and I know that the skills and insights passed on to us will carry us so far. Thank you to my wonderful parents for the gift that has been my 4 years at Carolina, this amazing university, and to my Francophile grandparents who taught me that there's truly so much worth being discovered in the French culture, from a nice full-bodied Cabernet to the words of Proust. I'd like to leave you all with a wonderful French quote by Théophile Gautier. Un des grands malheurs de la vie moderne, c'est le manque d'imprévu, l'absence d'aventure. One of the great misfortunes of modern life is the lack of the unexpected, the absence of adventures. Thank you.
My name is Amy Chambliss, and I'm the Director of Italian Language Instruction in the department. And I would like to introduce 2 award winners for the Kimberly Kaiser Award for Excellence in Italian. And our 2 award winners this year are Catherine Marie Medlin and Catherine Marie Medlin. I'm nervous. I'm so sorry. Catherine Marie Medlin and Gabriela G. Almeida Silva. And Catherine Medlin will share a few of her words with you.
Hi, everybody. I'm truly honored to be here with all of you today, celebrating this amazing accomplishment that we've all reached the end. Truthfully, I didn't begin my journey at UNC planning to major in a foreign language. Signing up for Italian 101 my freshman year started me on an unexpected yet very fulfilling path, which comes to a bittersweet end today. It was a spontaneous decision to try something completely new that revealed a passion which I will carry with me for the rest of my life. My fondest academic memories of my time at Carolina are wrapped around my coursework and the meaningful relationships I built within the Romance Studies department. I met my closest friends here at UNC through my Italian major, which tends to happen when you take classes with the same 8 people for 4 years. I found mentorship in the faculty that fostered a love of learning for the sake of learning. Studying Italian was the highlight of my years here. I am truly grateful for the department's faculty for their unwavering support, encouragement, and the fundamental role they had in shaping my Carolina experience. Non ci sono parole per esprimere la mia profonda riconoscenza. Grazie di cuore, and thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Anastasia Cole, and I'm the Director of Spanish Language Instruction at UNC. And it's my pleasure this afternoon to present 3 awards. The first 2 awards are Departmental Studemeyer Awards for Excellence in Spanish Study. And our first recipient is Kristen Bruffy. Our second recipient of this award is Olivia Catherine Weiler Romine. And then our final award winner for being the outstanding student in Spanish is Sophie Markham. As the outstanding student in Spanish, Sophie has been asked to share a few words with us. Thank you.
First, I want to say welcome and thank you to all the family and friends who've traveled from near and far to be here today, especially to my family in the audience. And I also want to express my sincere gratitude to the Spanish department for nominating me for this award. So I was having a hard time putting into concise words the importance of studying foreign language. So I decided to start by quoting somebody else. Famous philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein once said, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." As scholars of Spanish, French, Italian, and Portuguese, I'm sure we can all attest to the ways that we've been stretched beyond our limits over the past 4 years. In the cozy Dye Hall classrooms, with or without windows, our worlds have become infinitely bigger as we've studied not only hundreds of flashcards of vocabulary and grammar, but also poetry, novels, speeches, and letters that reflect the lived experiences of the speakers of our chosen language. Our professors have communicated to us that language studies are not frivolous. They are not just to fulfill a graduation requirement, but they are essential to our seeing the world as something that extends beyond our hometown bubbles, to understanding that other languages are not direct translations of English ideas, but that they can lead us to entirely different ways of perceiving the world. My studies of Spanish have led me to the most meaningful experiences of my undergraduate career, whether that be through recruiting bilingual tutors and hosting Spanish language hours with Semillas de Unidad, volunteering as an interpreter at a local clinic, or living abroad in Sevilla. All these experiences showed me the joy of being able to communicate and build relationships in my second language. It's these relationships and in my studies of Spanish literature where I have been challenged the most in my worldview, and where I have realized that there are more stories and perspectives in this world than I could ever know or understand. I want to take a minute now to share some big and small ways that professors in this department have shaped my past 4 years. I was so flattered last year to be invited by Profesora Carrasco to speak at the Bilingualism is My Superpower Assembly at Carver Elementary School. While looking out on the faces of these young Spanish learners and native Spanish speakers, I realized that studying language not only helps me understand people and cultures in other countries, but also many of my very own neighbors. I also want to thank Professor Oswaldo Estrada for pushing us to confront hard questions about immigration in his borders class, and for always waving at me when I see him at the gym. Thank you to Professor Gonzalez Espitia for bringing poetry to life and putting so much passion into our discussions that we almost always ran out of class time. And thank you to Professor Munoz Hermoso for helping me impress my friends in Sevilla by knowing the lyrics to Spanish songs from the 1970s. And finally, thank you to Professora Sue, who throughout 3 classes at UNC has been my biggest cheerleader and believed in me even when I didn't. Thank you for being such an amazing teacher, mentor, and friend. I also want to speak to my amazing and intelligent classmates. I'm so grateful for the time we've spent together. Whether we got close from being each other's first class friends in one of those infamous windowless classrooms, from accidentally taking 4 classes in a row together, you know who you are, or through wearing fake mustaches while performing a Wild West interpretation of a 17th century Spanish play. I will never forget you. Our graduating class has shown incredible resilience in facing unprecedented challenges, something that will take us far wherever we go. And though we still may stumble through a past perfect subjunctive conjugation, nobody can shrink our worlds down to the size they were when we were freshmen. We will continue to expand our limits through our passion for language. So, buena suerte, good luck to you all in all that you do, not that you need it.
Thank you to all our student speakers for those beautiful words. Next, we're going to recognize our graduates who have earned the Doctor of Philosophy degree after completing extensive research on a particular topic. Our first graduate is Sandra Garcia Gutierrez. Sandra's advisor, Professor Irene Gomez Castellano, says that Sandra is a brilliant, hardworking, productive scholar, a passionate defender of women's literature, a guide to the world of Leon and the Gothic, a believer in empowered princesses and benevolent witches. Such a pleasure to work with. Congratulations, Dr. Garcia Gutierrez. Next, our next graduate is Colleen Marie McAllister. Her advisor, also Professor Irene Gomez Castellano, says that Colleen is a sophisticated, gifted, and productive scholar, a powerful writer, a guide to the forgotten remnants of Romantic Spain, an archaeologist who loves letters and ruins and the world of the sublime. Creative and controlled, such a pleasure to work with. Congratulations, Dr. McAllister. And next, Tony Venetti. His advisor, Professor Maggie Fritz-Morkin, says that like a famous Italian pilgrim before him, Dante, in case you were wondering, Tony Venetti's intellectual journey began in a dark labyrinth. He conquered obscure archives during his graduate training in Trieste before arriving on our shores. In Chapel Hill, Tony embraced the steep ascent of his doctoral work in the company of friends and mentors, publishing numerous essays along the way and earning his laurels for a brilliant thesis entitled Conjuring a Sea State, Maritime Imagination in Renaissance Venice. Next year, Tony's ship will carry him to Wake Forest University as a visiting professor, and his early modern scholarship is sure to fix his place among the stars. Congratulations, Dr. Right. Next, we have several graduates who have earned master's degrees in Romance Studies. Our first graduate is Maria Hersha. Her advisor, who happens to be me, says that with a keen eye for the playfulness of 17th century theater, Maria reveals the centrality of a minor character in Moliere's comedy and sheds light on the powers of the powerless. Combining anthropology, theater history, and close reading, her work on the trickster servants makes us think about the power of comedy itself. Congratulations. Our next graduate is Aubrey Claire Lewis. Her advisor, Professor Sean Matheru, says that with her MA paper on George Sand's Indiana, Aubrey beautifully moves beyond the critical tendency to read the novel's infamous conclusion as ironically critical of romanticism. She gives Sand at last the gift of reading her as what she has always been, a mentor of romanticism who, in cutting across and scrambling the sad and the joyous, affirms the individual. Congratulations, Aubrey. Okay. Next, Carlos Rubens Lopez Padi. His advisor, Professor Osvaldo Estrada, commends Carlos for his excellent master's thesis on exile in Latin American literature. He says he's the most dedicated student he's had the pleasure to work with over the past 2 years, and he's so happy that he is Peruvian, as is Professor Estrada. So congratulations, Carlos. And finally, Jack Devery Reardon. Jack's advisor, Professor Juan Carlos Gonzalez Espitia, says that Jack wrote his MA paper on gambling as consumerism, infiltrating Argentina in Cambaceres Música Sentimental. According to Plato, his professor says, wonder is the feeling of a philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder, because amazement is an aspiration for wisdom in our soul. Congratulations to Jack and his ceaseless capacity for wonder. Right. Congratulations to all of our graduate students. And my colleague, Dr. Amy Chambliss, our Director of Undergraduate Studies, will be reading out the names of our undergraduate.
Gabriela G. Almeida Silva. Olivia Catherine Weiler Romine. Melissa Elaine Ferreira Patrocinio. Catherine Marie Medlin. Sophie Marie Markham. Margaret Ballard Foster. Kristen Bruffy. Emily Ray Alice. Anne Catherine Batty. Ariana Monet Brinkley. Samantha Gabriela Christian. Drew Preston Davis. Haley Anna Doherty. Lucy Rose Dyson. Reagan McNeil Flores. Natalia Lima Freitas. Courtney Lynn Fry. Elizabeth Harding. Catherine Christine King. Nell Ann Levine. Jessica Lee Matthews. Claire Marguerite Miller. Cameron Myers Milne. Hannah Irene Moore. Joanna Victoria Nino Che. Simon Nyack Palmore. Rabia Catherine Pfaff. Hannah Siders. Abigail Elizabeth Smith. Alejandra Maria Suarez Garcia. Holly Thompson. Anna Giselle Thompson. Christina Maria Valentin. Kendall Vaughn. Lauren Rose Wallace. Gabrielle Eleanor Caroline Walton. Samuel Akiwumi Way.
That's it, the class of 2023. Congratulations. All right, we would like to invite everyone to continue the celebration with a reception in the lobby way. There will be a chance to enjoy each other's company, take more photos, but we just ask that guests remain seated until the faculty and the graduates have exited the auditorium. So we'll see you momentarily upstairs. Thank you.